would like to start this video by saying that I'm autistic. And my special interests for my entire life have been toys. I often hyperfixate on specific toy brands and research them to a not normal point. And I wanted a place where I could talk about those hyperfixations and share my knowledge that I've acquired with the world. And so I wanted to make analysis videos like this for a while. And considering that the year in which I'm making this decision to finally start doing this is the year of the horse in the Chinese zodiac, I decided to dedicate my first video to obscure horse brands from my childhood that I have also been hyperfixated on. You may have noticed horses appearing in a lot of your favorite media. Uma Musume, Zibayan Genshin, Skull Panda collab with My Little Pony, and many more. But aside from My Little Pony, which we've all been familiar with, there are many other brands that try to take its crown. Philly is a toy line that started around 2006, originating in Hong Kong. They are little, flocked, hard plastic figurines of horses, unicorns, alicorns, all coming in pastel, bright colors similar to MLP. I've collected a lot in my childhood, if I'm not mistaken, mostly because I already had a pretty big collection of kitty/puppy in my pocket, so when they were introduced to me, I just thought that they were a horse version of those, because as you can see, they are also little flocked pets. I didn't really study their history because out of all the things that I'm gonna talk about in this video, they have been covered the most on the internet so far, both on here on YouTube by people like Negative Legend that also dives deep into the show that's associated with them, which I personally have not watched because it was not on TV in my country, at least not on channels that were available to me. And they've also been a huge topic on a lot of MLP forums because they are often compared to them. I'm digging through my collection, which is also, as I said, mixed up with doggy and kitty in my pockets, or whatever they're called. And so far, I found these little babies from the first gen that I at least think was the first gen, and was the first gen I started collecting. And there are also these, which are a bit more princessy, even though the first gen, which came in mystery bags, also had a princess character, which was like the ultimate rare one, and she was golden. This is my first interaction with rare exclusive
スーパーハイパーウルトラアルティメットデラックスパーフェクトアメージングストロングキュートビューティフルギャラクシーベイビー無限無敵無双ネージ
characters in blind bags. And similarly to this, the next one that I witnessed would be Shopkins, whose exclusives were also gold. But I think there was much more to this character than just her being gold. I think from the first gen, she was the only one that had a little princess crown, so that kind of added to the effect. There was another brand in Croatia, which were little flocked horses, which often get mistaken for fillies on listings on reselling platforms, which I have collected, and those are minis.
The minis are here! Little cute and fun ponies!
They were a help to research, and I am so sorry if you see me looking at my script on my phone for this one. From what I could recall on my own, there were small horses similar to fillies in a lot of ways, being flocked and coming in blind bags, although these were supposed to represent more realistic horses with realistic colors, even coming with little cards that would introduce what breed they were supposed to be and what that breed would usually be used for. For an example, a card would show the horse's side profile and their name, and then say that they're a racing horse, or a horse that's supposed to carry a carriage. I'm not sure if this was on the cards, but I remember there even being graphics explaining that you can even tell what type of horse they were depending on their posture. That information also could have come from magazines, which they have released alongside the toys, as well as picture books with stories based on the pre-established horse characters, a board game. It was actually two different board games. This being the first one, and this being its box, and this being the second one, with this being its box. Thank you. And a video game with models similar to the ones that have already appeared in their commercials. Honestly, looking back at it, it's really impressive that they've managed to boost and promote their brand so well with so much creative, beautiful pieces of media with amazing art attached to it and messages without it being a cartoon, which a lot of companies in that era and also today think is necessary for a toy brand to succeed. My cousin, who was a horse girl, really liked this brand, probably more than anything I'm gonna mention. I specifically remember she really committed to collecting all of them, and so I ended up getting a couple of doubles, but usually it would be pretty easy to avoid because at the time when they were releasing, a lot of people would feel around the bags to guess what character they were getting because all of them had unique molds and you could probably tell based on just feeling around. And it was even encouraged by workers at toy stores. I remember going to one to play and the ladies working there would see me feel around the bag and they were like, oh my god, which ones are you looking for? Are you looking for the Pegasi and Unicorn? Because those were kind of considered rare or like mainish characters, at least in like promotional, based on promotional material and stuff. So they offered to feel it around and find them for me. I mean, a lot of the blind bags that are popular right now don't even have unique molds with which you could do this with. But it's cute, and I just really miss it, and it's a memory that I come back to now that blind bags and blind boxes are trending. God, I love boo-boos. Now for my collection, I only kept a few that really spoke out to me, such as this little girly pop. She's supposed to be a wild horse, which is why she's running and has spots and stuff. These were like from the first generation, and a lot of them, because they're so old, have started to lose the little hair wefts on them. Oh my god, this was the main bitch. I don't remember her name at all, but she was like the brand logo, and I remember my cousin who was obsessed with the brand wanting her the most. And you could see that she was played with the most because girl has lost a lot of fur. Later on, they also started releasing these little plastic ones without flocking. Those were their babies. Anyways, I forgot to show these. As you can see, they would literally show you a horse character that you could get and then what breed they were. Here's the ad, and here's who I said was the main bitch that was fucking promoted everywhere. This one has an ad for silly bands. This is crazy. Oh my god, this one also shows a pack that would include a couple of horses and then a DVD for their game in like behind them. And you can also see how the little cards looked, even though I probably already showed it on the screen before this. I tried my best to find the company behind these, and inevitably, the only logos I would see on any material for these would be the One to Play logo, which was a toy store in which they were sold in and not a company that produced them. What I managed to find, however, is that they were sold not only in Croatia, but also in other Balkan countries, including Serbia and etc. I love this brand, and I'm so sure that they got a lot of little girls interested in horses, especially because of how educational and informative they were, like all of their media. And it's just so sweet to look back at, and I'm so glad that I did this. I could be looking at this for a while. So, with my attempts at finding the company behind Mimes, you have seen a little bit of how far I research and try to research these brands. But dear viewer, that is only the tip of the iceberg, and you are about to see absolute insanity that I go through when I hyperfixate on these. Another toy brand that I've researched for countless of hours, days, weeks, and months is Crystal Ponies. If you now only search up Crystal Ponies on Google, you will first be led to a type of pony from My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. If you search up Crystal Ponies Moose, you will be led to what I am actually talking about. Mostly images and information from an article that dives deep into them. And would you look at that? I'm there! So, how did I get here? One day, I casually remembered this brand because I found playsets for it, including a castle that is now a part of my gamer setup. Worst thing I ever said. And a horse stable, which I've kept, unlike the horses, because they were the right proportions to be used for other toys that I've played with. And it's quite unfortunate that I've let go of the ponies, because as I've come to find out, after searching for them, they've become sort of lost media. As I stated previously, I just looked up Crystal Ponies and didn't find them. I looked up even Crystal Ponies Moose because when I turned around the castle, I saw that they were made by Moose Toys, but I was only led to a Shopkins pony. And Shopkins is a toy line that was made by Moose, and mostly what got them popular in America. But before that, they were a lot more popular and had a lot of toy brands that are now kind of lost to time in Australia, which is their origin country, and a lot of random European countries, including mine, apparently. So, after finding out that simply searching for the brand isn't going to lead me far, I ended up reverse image searching the castle, which led me to a listing for it. Great. Then I reverse searched the listing for the castle, which led me to another one, which included the ponies. After reverse image searching the ponies, I was led to a random, I think, German blog about someone's My Little Pony collection, which included a crystal pony. Then reverse searching that led me to another listing for them, eventually getting out of the Christian market and into a few other countries. That made me learn that they were also sold in Germany, Sweden, and Denmark. And unfortunately, my search had stopped there for a while. I even tried emailing Moose Toys themselves, and we've exchanged a couple of messages, but inevitably I only got told, as I already knew, that it was a pretty old brand and they would have to go deep into their archives to find any sort of information that I could be looking for, such as promotional art, which I was so hoping for, or like any promotional images, which I was really hoping for. But they pinky promised that they would contact me if anything popped up ever again. Months go by. At that point, a lot has changed in my life. And one random day, a random Croatian nostalgia page posts a scan of an ad for Crystal Ponies in a want-to-play catalog. The same toy store who sold the minis and who I knew and loved so much. I was flabbergasted. This was my first time in ages seeing actual promotional material for them and not just listings, and someone else aware of this brand. And then, because now I had clear promotional images, I reverse image searched them. By reverse image searching, that one story from a Croatia nostalgia account, I got led to this article by Crystalline Toybox. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Update.
Crystalline.
I wasn't. I owe this woman my entire fucking soul, and not just this. Too fucking bad, bitch. Reminiscing on the brand, as well as looking for more information on it, as did I. I then proceeded to act normally and neurotypically, as I have for the rest of the search, of course, and casually, nonchalantly, proceeded to send her every fucking piece of information that I have collected in the past months, including screenshots and links, and even personal anecdotes. In the end, that has led her to make a follow-up article with even more official pictures she's found with the Wayback Machine on toy websites and a lot of information I've provided, as well as the owner of the nostalgia account that we have then contacted, and later on, even more people reaching out, offering more information, personal pictures, and even suggestions on how to continue the search. Later on, the Historical Toy Society of Australia spoiled us with even more official scans, which are also included in the article. In the end, we've gathered enough information for that article to be turned into what is now basically a guide on everything we know about the brand. Each of the releases and details that
Crystalline.
presented so beautifully. And I need to bring that up and thank her a billion more times as she had thanked me. Because without her posting about this and being so willing to hear me out and then making updates, this truly might have been lost media for ages. But now we have this beautiful archive that we can lead people to, and that's hopefully going to shorten a lot of other people's searches. I encourage you, if you have any information on this brand, any personal collections, to comment them also on that article. Pretty much everything official might have already been found, except if there is some sort of promotional video, which might have been a fever dream that I just had. Like, I'm not even sure if there was an actual commercial for this or if I made it up, but I remember learning some of the official lore for the toy, except, like, aside from the lore that I've made up by myself. And that later I've realized was in those written promotional materials, but I at the time couldn't read. So I'm assuming that there must have been some commercial that I have gotten that, like, information from. If not, then I might have just made it up based on things my parents have read to me. I don't know. I have
The one and only 24 karat gold
pony from this toy brand. As you can see, they are little, pretty soft plastic ponies that would usually come with real tails, except mine got chopped. And little plastic wigs.
Do you wear wigs?
No, I do not.
Have you worn wigs?
No, I have not.
Will you wear wigs?
Maybe.
When will you wear wigs?
And other accessories such as wings that would also be translucent, similarly to the fillies that I've shown you. But yeah, this look really doesn't have them. And I have seen some listings for these on Vinted, but what's bothering me is that they would come in lots, including the castle, which I already have. So it was kind of not something I was willing to spend money on, because then I would inevitably have to sell that castle as well, which could be hell. And especially for someone looking for the ponies, not including the ponies, blah blah blah. I also went out on like a sort of toy picnic with my friend once, and because I ranted to her about these, she brought her own collection for me, and we took a bunch of cute pictures of them. And honestly, I wish I stole from her. But I'm so glad I got to kind of reconnect with the toy brand sense. And I hope that this video brings a bit more awareness to them and gets a bit more people interested in them. Maybe someone else will make content about them as well. I would honestly love that. As long as everyone who contributed a lot of information about the brand, such as the people from the article, get some sort of credit.
Remember, Struts! Struts fashion horses and accessory packs each sold separately.
Moving on from a brand I had to dig so deep for, onto something you may be more familiar with or even seeking if you're in similar toy collecting circles as am I. Struts were simply put to MLP what Bratz was to Barbie. It had a similar concept, but served more and moms did not like it. A very good video about them that I'd recommend is by To Dream, who are also here on YouTube, and I love. They were also mentioned by Darling Dolls and some other doll influencers, if I'm not mistaken, one of which I distinctly remember even using the Croatian ad for them in their video.
Upoznajte najglamoroznije fotomodele, Struts, curke sa stilom.
Now, as I've shown for everyone else, I happen to own one of these. Keeping my windows unlocked, whatever the fuck. Look at her. So, this is Rio, but she is wearing a fashion pack from a different character. I have some of the original pieces she came with, but they have been worn by many of my dolls. So they're probably scattered all over the place. Girl, her bag keeps flying away. A lot of them are scattered and mixed up with a lot of the other toy stuff that I have from different brands, such as her clothes being mixed with doll clothes. So I'm not sure if I can even restore her and if it would be worth selling her in this current state. Even the fashion pack that she's wearing isn't originally meant for her. It's meant for a different character, and I just bought it because it reminded little me of Draculaura. Even this isn't complete because I remember it came with little earrings and a skirt that I think inevitably was worn by one of my Draculaura dolls. So I'm not sure what she would be worth and if I should even try selling her. But I got like an offer for her on Reddit that I never ended up replying to because she's just such an enigma to me. And because prices for actual listings for these really vary. There's a lot of people who would know exactly what they're worth and make the prices pretty high because they got recalled and stuff. And then there are people who would list them for like $2 or something because they didn't know anything about them. I kind of don't feel like she has a place in my collection. The most she's gotten as a child was being like a friend to Princess Celestia because of their similar cunty horse proportions, being taller than My Little Ponies. My Little Ponies. So I really don't know what to do with her. But if you want struts and can't find them and aren't gonna get my girl from me, an alternative that I would recommend to these that you can buy in stores even now is Wild Manes.
Now from the show Wild Manes, come on down to the town of Wild.
From what I've noticed from seeing them in stores, they have similar proportions to struts and also similar fashions to them. If I were to play with them now, if I had one, and my child brain, I think struts would be like an older Y2K country sister to Wild Manes. Another recent alternative to some of these brands for when you don't want to give an arm and a leg unwanted and would rather just go to Miller and get a little treat for yourself are Gallopy unicorns. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. I'm assuming you would read this like galloping, gallopy. They pretty much look like a love child of Philly and Crystal Ponies, which I've mentioned. Having bright colors, flocking, translucent materials used on wings and accessories, but also kind of more lanky features, which might be considered weird, but I honestly find really cute. These are like the opposite of my Wildmane's X Struts headcanon. Like, they low-key look like an older, cuntier sister to Philly ponies, and at first I thought it might have been a new generation of them. They also come in blind bags, so I think they really could be trendy or give the like trend experience.
Basically, I'll be happy with any of them except that fuck-ass Christmas.
To someone who just vibes with this aesthetic or is looking for a way to add on to the collection of these older brands, which I might have mentioned. I know supposedly every other bitch is doing nostalgic deep dives and deep dives into nostalgic media these days, and it's been even made fun of, but I genuinely adore content like that, and I watch a lot of creators that make content like that, and I've wanted to for a long time because I feel like some of the topics that I get hyperfixated on aren't really covered a lot in this way. Maybe in written media, but not something you could listen to while you're crafting or drawing or doing chores and stuff, which I like doing. So I decided to make these videos. And also because often when I hyperfixate on these, I have no one else to talk to about them. So if you're looking for more content like that, I suggest subscribing. Future episodes are not gonna be about horses unless something magically pops up or I remember or get more information about any of these brands. They might be in a similar vein of dolls, character designs, doll designs, toy designs, or obscure cartoons, or just cute looking media that might fascinate me and could also fascinate you. If you're interested in that, consider subscribing. And if you're interested in outfits like this one, I suggest you follow my fashion account on Instagram, which is Smedliwica. And if you're interested in cosplays, you can follow my TikTok and Instagram, which are both iKinPeppa. And yes, I do kin Peppa, but that's a topic for another video, which I might make if this goes well, if I don't give up on this entirely. Goodbye! I can't do this. Oh no. I have a time limit.